This is like the liberal fantasy. He thinks that, oh, liberalism is just such a great system that you just have to describe it to people and they're going to accept it. And they're just going to jump, and become liberals. All you have to do is like take John Stuart Mill's On Liberty, his book, and translate it to different languages and pass it around, the world in pamphlets, and everyone is going to become liberal. It's just so obviously superior. We all just need to become liberals because it's just intuitive, and the moral goodness of it will just amaze the world. That's all that is needed to spread liberalism. And so in his mind, like that's how, and the mind of all these liberals, they don't know history. They're blind to the world around them. They think that liberalism spread just because it's so compelling, just because it's such a brilliant philosophy. But it's not brilliant. It's full of contradictions, and it contradicts human nature. It contradicts all of these things that are biologically rooted in us as human beings. And so it has to be forced. And historically also, there were revolts, there was uprising. People have been trying to resist liberal colonialism and liberal domination from the beginning of this project. And even look at the history of the United States. Look at the history of Canada. So why are these Native Americans, for example, resisting the United States? Why don't they see what a superior system it is? Like, I thought the history of the United States was that, the Constitution was printed out. The Declaration of Independence was passed out to the, written out for the natives. And then they read it and they're like, wow, what a great system. Let's just join the Union. No, that's not. Why were they resisting it? They're resisting it, you can say, because of economic reasons, like they didn't want to lose their land. Okay, that's true. But losing their land also meant losing their traditions. It also meant losing their way of life. It also meant, losing their connection with their history, their religious beliefs. And I mean, with Native Americans, they weren't really given much of an option either because they were exterminated. And that was justified by many of these liberal thinkers. They said that extermination is sometimes necessary because these people are just impossible to liberalize. They're so stuck in their ways. They're never going to accept it. All they do is fight back and revolt. So we have to actually just exterminate them and start anew, start fresh. And that's the only way we're going to create a liberal utopia, and it's worth it. The ends justify the means. This is explicit in their writing. Look at Algeria. What did the French do? When the French invaded Algeria, they ended up killing 1/3 of the population. 1/3 of Algeria was wiped out. Can you imagine? This is about 1 million to 1.5 million immediately snuffed out by the French. And France is what? They are one of the earliest liberal empires, and this is the way that they've operated in the world to spread their control and power up until the point that we are at today. So this is something that has completely escaped liberals, and here you have one of the foremost liberal debaters who has no clue about any of this. It's hard to believe. It's really hard to believe.
السلام عليكم. لا تنسوا الاعجاب بالفيديو والاشتراك في القناة تشجيعا لنا لنستمر بنشر المزيد إن شاء الله.